I think it's recording now. Yeah, I think so. So yeah, no intros. I'm not going to be like, "Hi guys, welcome to." Nah, screw that. So like I was saying initially, I think the last time I can't remember the first time we met. Yeah, but I think the last time we met was at CC Hub. You came to use the hub, or you're working on a project. I don't even know how that happened. Yeah. So can you walk me through all of that? Like when we used to hang out at CC Hub, how did that happen? Were you working on a project?
So I think I was the software developer for an e-commerce company.
Okay.
Long story, but my interaction with you in CC Hub. Here's a funny thing. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. I was only seeing you at the close to that reception side where the funded guys are always sitting.
The
Yeah, where
funded
the
guys.
business
That's a
stuff.
good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are two sections of CC Hub then.
Yeah.
The funded guys and the funded guys. So once I see anybody, I'll be like, oh, this dude has gotten some money for what he's doing. So here's the main thing I remember that I'm still looking for. Remember, you're the one
Mhm.
that gave me the Steve Jobs music collection, the film.
I I don't remember, but now that you mentioned it, the year was 2015, and I'm pretty sure Steve Jobs had just come out. So yeah, at the time I used to consume a lot of Steve Jobs stuff. My background is blocking my bookshelf, but I actually have some books that reference him still. So yeah, I used to be a doc
So yeah,
for Steve
so
Jobs.
that's the most memorable. So I was there. I think I don't know whether I was watching. I was seeing the movie or I was playing just one of the track. And you walked up and you were like,
Yeah,
"Oh, I have the full collection." I'm like, "Oh, awesome!" And that was one of my most favorite collection until I don't know what happened to that laptop. I lost that collection. So
interesting.
yeah, that was it. But I know that you're working for
Okada.
working with Okada books. So yeah, that was my experience. So after then, I left CC Hub, moved on to go and finish some studies, went to serve, worked for some time within the bank and fintech space. Then I Japa.
Where did you serve? Where did you serve?
Ilori.
Oh, nice. So at what
Ilori.
point did you the Steve Jobs thing happened in 2015? At what point did you jackpot from Nigeria?
I think maybe at most 2 years, at most. It's not up to a year plus, maybe a year 6 months or a year eight, or a
So
year
around
and
2018, 2019 then.
no, 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 that should be 2020
Okay.
or 2021.
Okay.
2021,
Did
most likely.
did the COVID thing happen for you in Nigeria or over
Yeah,
there?
COVID happened. I was in Nigeria. So yeah,
Interesting.
that means I traveled 2021.
So what motivated you to jackpot from Nigeria?
More than anything, I think it was just that inner desire to travel and see other places. Even before coming to Eastern Europe, I've been to other places and African country, Asian country. So there's this thing that happens when you travel. You tend to see things from other people's point of view.
Yeah,
You
true.
tend to understand culture from other people's point of view. And then other than that, I also needed to complete I had interest in completing my master's or getting a master's degree
Yeah, okay.
and changing environments. So yeah,
Okay, that's
a
that's a
couple of that.
lot.
Yeah, so there was multiple stuff that just came into the decision to because I pretty much I could have stayed in Lagos. It wasn't that stressful for me. That and that. I could also work remotely. So for me, it's a combination of multiple things. And oh, almost forgot. Better opportunity. Why
Yeah.
would I forget that? Why would I forget that?
Well, it's easy to forget because you're already in it. So
Yeah,
you're already accessing better opportunities. So you're like,
yeah,
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 it's easy
yeah.
to
So,
forget.
so yeah.
So when you were leaving Nigeria, what were the things you had to get together before you left? Because this has always been um headache for most people. They tell you things like, hey, I'm looking for scholarships, or I'd like to apply to scholarships, or I got a scholarship. What did you have to put together? Of course, I know you have to do your passport, which is like a constant, but what else did you have to get together before leaving?
By get together, do you mean what exactly do you mean by get together?
Like documents, arrangements you had to make. Did you have
Oh,
to
okay.
sell things? Just the bulk of it.
So for documents, basically it was my educational documentations like things like
Because you were going for
SSCG,
masters.
yeah, BS, and any other professional certificate I had or that I used in getting admission.
Yeah,
I had to get original copies of those certificates. Photocopies or soft copies were not allowed, so I had to get original copies of them. Then, in case of arrangement for living, it was during the COVID era,
okay.
so the school had this arrangement where once you come in, they provide you housing for a couple of time till you go sort yourself out. But first, there was a mandatory 3 weeks, I think 3 weeks,
For
where you had to be,
quarantine.
yeah, for quarantine, where you had to be isolated in a hotel or in a hostel, and everything was provided for you. Food was served, and the rest of them. Then I think I'm jumping stage. But before then, before before getting to that point, did I sell anything? Funny enough, I didn't.
What happened to your property in Nigeria?
Mm, it was absorbed by my younger ones and co and friends. So
Nice.
they distributed it. They
Among
distributed it
themselves.
among themselves. They shared the property. I remember my younger brother. So I didn't go with any of my clothing. Not any of my clothing. Majority of my clothing I didn't go. So I'm a light traveler. Like I travel light. So the only things I traveled with was almost essential things that I know I couldn't really do without. But the likes of clothes, I came to the country was where I had to like buy the clothes I was going to use. So
Okay.
other things I shared it among, it was just whoever was there took. Whoever was there
Okay.
took.
How are you able
Yeah,
to finance? Yeah, go on.
excluding,
Go on.
excluding my bed. I think that one was sold.
Okay. I was going to ask how you were able to finance like your travel and everything.
So I saved. Tech money is good money, right?
Yeah. It is. It
So,
is. I'm trying to
so,
act
so
humble.
yeah. Let's be frank. We need to motivate people to go into this.
So
So
I'm eating
thing.
this packaged kilishi.
Aha. You could have
I'm
just gotten
listening.
the normal cliche.
I couldn't. Normal one comes from Abuja and Jos, and I haven't found someone who is coming from Abuja, so I had to. A friend sent this one in Lagos.
that's that's one of the few things I miss for Nigeria now. Like
Mm.
spicy food. So what these guys call spicy, it's nothing close to spicy. But that's a discussion for another period.
Yeah,
Another day.
reminds me of a friend that went to Kenya and he was like, no pepper for Kenya.
No, pepper. The spice level is like underrated. Like I could get a whole bunch of spice, and then I'm trying to get my food to be spicy, and I just pour like maybe one third or two third of the whole spice, and yet I still don't feel any form of spice.
Ouch.
So in summary, it was more of I didn't bother anyone. Again, the cost of I had three admissions, one in
Okay.
Germany from a private university. So they had this arrangement where I still have to pay, one in UK and one in Cyprus. So for the one in, I just had to evaluate the costing
Hmm.
and what I wanted. And I was for UK, I was almost spending three times what I would have spent if I was based in Cyprus.
Mhm.
So that was part of the reason why I decided, okay, let's go with Cyprus.
Okay.
It's almost three times cheaper. Like I have
It's
friends
more
who are in
affordable.
UK, and when they tell me how much they're paying just for rent and electric bill, it's almost equivalent to what I pay for 3 months.
Yeah. Speaking of UK, I've heard nice things about them. Um, when I say nice, I'm saying nice.
Quote unquote.
About them. I mean, it got to the point where someone was even telling me that I should also explore other options if I'm looking to visit Europe. You know, that UK should not be my first choice. Don't get me wrong, he didn't say anything bad, right? I would, need to say on this call. It's not bad, but he was basically talking about how things are now more expensive than ever. And I even read an article that said that people are leaving the UK for some interesting reason.
Hmm.
So
What can I get to know what some of that reason?
inflation, basically the cost of things like housing, for example, like the rent you have to pay every month and all of that, it's more expensive, more than ever, actually.
Is there is
So
there is
and
there an
jobs don't pay as much as some other countries would pay if
that
you're in
was
the
what I was
UK.
getting to. If the cost of living increases and the cost of and
Yeah,
salary
you still
or
don't get paid more.
then it doesn't
Yeah,
work out.
yeah.
Doesn't work out.
So
Well, okay, so take bro, do you have problem with that?
uh that's a very good question. I don't know if you've had that fear before, but I'm at this stage in life where I don't have to worry about how the next month's pay is going to come in. Like I don't want my situation to be worse than it is currently, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a tech bro. The tech money is good. Yeah, but there are some environments with my current pay that will end up in where I'd have to pay taxes and everything, and I'll be left with nothing at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
I
Where I
get,
am currently, I have three bedrooms. This is
I
my
get.
office. There's a guest room, there's a bedroom, there's a big kitchen, there's a living. Like this place is big, and it's just easy to do things around here. So
Which part of the are
I
you
dey
in Lagos?
fear. I dey fear. Yes, I have a place in Lagos. I dey fear. So I dey fear, guy.
By time by so the thing is this, but that same money that will be able to get you a comfortable three-bedroom apartment,
Yeah,
one of those luxury, you'll be struggling to use it to get a bed.
bro. And it's not even just um in Europe, like in UK, but also in some African countries. Like I've heard about some parts of Ghana that are, bro, bro.
The funny thing is that Ghana is like after Benin, Togo, Ghana. Ghana is
Yeah,
one country that, for an unknown reason, I don't know much about them in terms of I've never been there,
yeah.
and I have not really interacted with people from Ghana. And I'm so much interested in traveling to Ghana to see how the
You
tech
should
space or the whole city life, what it's like. I've
visit
tried some of
Accra.
their food, and I sort of I like. I've tried kinke, the Nigerian one, the Nigerian
Yeah,
made kinke, and it was nice. So funny. How is the place like? What's the place like?
Um, Ghana is chill, pretty chill, but things are just expensive, guy. Like very expensive, expensive.
More than Nigeria?
More than no, way more than Nigeria actually.
Wow.
So I have some tech bros that are actually not just tech bros, but some tech heads or leads, in Ghana. Victor Asemota, for example, is in Ghana. He lives in Accra. Last I checked from his tweets and stuff. There are some of my guys out as well. I met one guy on Lunch Club. Is it Lunch Club? Yeah, Lunch Club. Just around that pandemic period. I think when the whole pandemic thing was subsiding, I met someone in Ghana. His name is Toby, I think, and he runs a startup in Ghana. And he was also telling me about how things are over there. And I was like, yeah, okay. So I know a bunch of guys over there, and they say almost the same thing, just like the Rwanda guys. It's safe, very safe. There's electricity, right? You can go to the mall and everything, but things are just expensive. Also, in Ghana, people bill you in dollars if they notice that you're a foreigner. So if they notice that you're not one of their people, and this I'm talking from the experience I've had with two people that I've interviewed from Ghana for Japa.ng. They talk about how if you're trying to set up things in your house, these guys will come in and bill you in dollars. Like people spend dollars in Ghana. You know how you can't really just throw dollars around here because of CBN and their regulations and the whole dollar
Where you see
selling
dollar
thing.
first?
Yeah,
Where
so
you
in
see
Ghana
dollar?
they throw dollars around anyhow,
Hmm.
especially if they notice that you're a foreigner.
Do they?
So yeah, you should visit. Do book an Airbnb.
I will.
Wait, once
I
you've
will.
booked your flight, book an Airbnb with the Wi-Fi or something. Drop at the airport. It will take you straight to your Airbnb. From there, you have access to the internet and
Do,
maybe
do,
have
do,
like a tour guide or
do you have
something.
like? Yeah, I was about to ask. Do you have a tour guide that you could
I
recommend?
can I can arrange one for you if you want.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Because I really don't know why I haven't been to Ghana.
Yeah. From the airport, they'll start extorting you. You start hearing things like how Nigerians are very smart, Nigerians are very sharp, and stuff like that. It's
Yeah, I
like
mean,
every other African country hates us because we are very agile and hardworking and stuff. A Ghanaian man will tell you, "Hey, I'm going to come and take a look at this thing tomorrow." Tomorrow, if you no show, then you next tomorrow you call him and be like, "How far?" You'll be like, "Oh yeah, it was because of the rain that fell. That's why I did not." I like, why did you like? They are just everybody's just laid back
no,
and chill and just
there's something different about
If you are
Nigerians.
watching this video from Ghana, we're not hating or anything. It's just how you guys would behave. So
There's something different about Nigerians. I think the whole environment, like even here, you could
yeah.
literally tell from the body language. Like I can almost tell from the body language of an individual whether he or she is a Nigerian. The
And that's all
way
I was going to ask you. What has your experience been like over there? Meeting Nigerians and the people and the environment and security and all.
of security, let me start with security. Security, you don't have any problem. Like
Nice.
there's really no security issue. I've not just although I've had cases where, or in some area where Nigerians people have started misbehaving a bit, like
Um,
the case like flying colors and all of those things. So the police there has become a bit aggressive. But in the area where I stay, I've not seen an armed policeman. Like
um,
that's how I don't know what I would say. For in terms of security, you don't have security problem. The cost of living depends on where you decide to go to.
okay.
So there is just from what I could say, they are like there's the high end, there's the middle way, and then there's the low low there.
Yeah.
So depend on your taste. If you want to go high there, then you most likely be spending a good amount of money.
Is citizenship something you're looking to explore over there?
Citizenship is like 10 years. I don't think that's something within my
Yeah, yeah, 10 years is a long time. Actually, I thought it was like 3 or 5 years. What?
ah,
10?
and the whole process of getting so here's the thing. Depending on which side of Cyprus you are. Currently, I'm on the depending where I am right now. I'm not sure if there's a well-defined process of getting. There should be, but I haven't really explored that option. Like it hasn't really crossed my mind. Am I looking for citizenship?
Yeah.
No, it hasn't.
Okay. Do you have like communities, like Nigerian communities where you can connect with fellow Nigerians and stuff?
I am not the best person to ask that question.
Are you an introvert or you just hate people?
I don't hate people, but because I've seen a lot of the people who have had the opportunity of chatting with Nigerians have come
Hmm.
across. I do see them having these groups, this WhatsApp group where quote unquote these are Africans, West Africans, or Nigerians. So
Hmm.
I want to believe there are groups out there that are dedicated for Nigerians. I just don't know about them.
Okay.
So my movement is usually I work remotely, so most time it's in and out. Whenever
Yeah.
I'm going out, it's most likely to get groceries and all of those basic needs. And maybe I need to
What about cinemas and malls?
come again.
'Cause I was saying, what about cinemas and malls? But then you said you
So
get groceries and so yeah, malls.
this the near convenience store around me, it's a bit more expensive at the convenience store, but it's way more easier to access stuff there. Then for cinema, there's a nice cinema here, but I haven't been to the cinema. My 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 ideal fun or what I do for fun doesn't really involve going to the cinema. It's
Okay.
it involves more
Please don't
extreme.
say gym. Please don't say gym. Please don't say
So,
gym.
no, I'm not a gym rat. So it involves more. So take for instance, for most of I would either rather be going for skydiving or sea
Nice.
diving or rock climbing or so those kind of things are what I find more appealing as against going to see a movie, hanging out,
Yeah.
or
There's the part of you that is really, really very adventurous. Like those things, climbing rocks, skydiving, that's very outdoor and it's very
it's
out there, not
really
like an
thrilling.
in-house kind of thing. Yeah. It's
Yeah, so
thrilling.
I tell my friend if it doesn't have the chance of killing me, I don't think it's fun.
Oh my god.
So that
Is that
truth,
how you see it?
that's little chance of something going wrong,
Yeah.
and that's just that little chance of possibly something going wrong, and you could, you should get really messed up. Makes it more thrilling. Like the danger is part of the fun. When I
Gotcha.
when I was sea diving, there's this small chance. Okay, what happens if, let's just say, what could possibly, what happens if I cut my pipe and I'm just maybe 10 meters below the sea, or what happens? Just think of the most weird thing. Then if you're
Adrenaline
diving, what
junkie.
happens if the chute doesn't open up? So those possible danger actually makes it more fun. Makes it more
And
fun.
scary. Very
Yeah.
scary.
The danger makes it fun. The danger is the pepper. It's just like buying into the danger is the pepper to the whole thing.
Interesting. Yeah, so one of the most important questions I wanted to ask you is the opportunities that people can actually explore in Cyprus. You're not the first person who I know that is in Cyprus, but I'm not close to any other person who lives in Cyprus. But I've heard in my circle that someone went to Cyprus to study, and that was it. So hearing that Nigerians are moving to places like Cyprus, UK, it makes me want to actually know, what's out there, what's in Cyprus. For example, you just mentioned skydiving. You can't go skydiving in Nigeria, guy, you die. So, or get kidnapped. Like that judo sees video. But
Oh,
really,
I
what's
see.
you've seen that video, right?
What
Yeah,
do you say?
miracle no dey tire Jesus.
Clients are now dropping from the sky.
But yeah, so what's it like, what are the opportunities that a Nigerian can explore in Cyprus?
The reality for me,
Yeah,
it's a bit different. Again, owing to the fact that tech is almost universal and they doesn't really pay much attention to who you are
yeah,
as to how much of what you can do. But most of your viewers are tech bros or tech inclined, so we could just limit this to just reality for most likely tech people or tech
that's
inclined
fine.
people. Because I do hear a lot of stories. And again, Cyprus is a weird place in the sense that there's not just one Cyprus, there's north and south. And depending on which part you land, you could
Hmm.
either get pretty fucked up. I don't know if that's right, if that's allowed, yeah. Or
It's allowed.
or
When you
or
say
you could
pretty fucked
just
up, what do you mean?
job opportunities.
Okay,
So on the northern side, again, the reality for me is different
I understand.
because, but what the stories I hear is that those people come outside or go to Europe, they want to watch plays, do all those menial jobs and all of those things. But the fact is that these things are not as readily available as possibly back then as they are now.
Mm,
But they are the jobs; those kind of menial jobs are still there,
yeah.
but not as heavily as it is now. Sorry, as it was in the past.
Okay, so basically, you're indirectly saying don't go to Cyprus with the hope that you'd find those manual jobs.
Christians, especially if you're coming to if you decide to come towards the northern side, don't.
So
That would be a very
big
risky move.
mistake.
Yeah, it would
Okay.
be a very risky move. Very risky move. I wouldn't advise anybody to do that. If you're coming towards the south, maybe. I've heard guys who move towards the south or who stay towards the south say that the menial jobs are more easy to land. But if you have some hard skill,
Mm,
especially within the tech space, you are still good to go.
okay. But what's it like if somebody says, "Hey, I want to go to Cyprus, but I want to work from Cyprus for a foreign company"? Is it that easy to do from
Perfect.
over? Okay.
Perfect. Like
What about,
if you are
go
if
on.
you're working for a foreign company and you're not dependent on here, I can tell you that the amount of money you spend living here is way cheaper than what you will spend in other European countries. Way, way cheaper. The rent, the electricity,
Yeah.
and you're getting almost internet. So it's almost like high end. If you are to base it on per Lagos, you are almost looking at the highbrow areas of Lagos. You are getting almost equivalent or even more
And then there's
lifestyle.
even electricity and security,
Then,
so
then
you're good.
yes, there's other extra things. So if you have that remote work, for sure, come here. Like you won't regret it.
Gotcha.
But
Um,
if you have the
go
remote
on.
job,
Yeah.
but if you're coming here to look for a job,
Expecting to, yeah, yeah.
it's not. I wouldn't say it's a big economy, especially the north side. I won't say
Okay.
it's a big economy.
What about education?
Pretty nice.
Okay, when you say pretty nice, can you explain? Like, I'm just wondering, like, what is it expensive to school in Cyprus? If I pick up my
No,
bags now and say, hey, I want to go to Cyprus for maybe a BSc program or BBA or a master's program, what do you think?
freaking 3 times cheaper than UK.
Wow. What do you think the average school fee will be? Tuition fees. I keep calling them school fees,
Like
but it's the same thing.
per semester, you could have schools that would charge you 1,000 euro. Then you can have schools that would charge you 500 euro. The more
Are you
you can see how.
joking?
I'm not joking, for real. I'm being real.
That is ridiculously cheap. I'm
I'm
sorry, but I
telling
had to
you.
laugh.
I'm telling you. Yes. Like,
What?
I'm serious. That's how, like, it's like I've told you, if you have that external source of income,
Yeah,
here is so much better.
nice.
And you don't have to worry about things you might have to worry about in Nigeria.
Again,
You're chopping
when we say things you have to worry about, what comes to mind is electricity
internet.
and security. Yeah, internet as well. But yeah, most importantly, security.
Unlimited internet for 3 months. And I pay maybe, if I convert it to Naira, maybe 30K.
I go like see your speed test. What's the speed like over there?
I'm not, let me see what mine is reading now.
Okay.
Mm, Tax.com.
What about obtaining a visa?
So the when I was making my move, they had this same thing with this same package with Dubai sort of system where you get visa on arrival.
Okay. That's at the time though.
Yeah, at the time. So I'm not sure. Nigerians started misbehaving. They started having these clashes with
Yeah.
Nigerians fighting here and there, and restrictions were announced. They started adding restrictions. So I don't know what the situation right now is, but I think visa process is still pretty much is like it took me like almost maybe a month from the moment I decided I want to go to the moment I went.
Okay.
So
Did you
visa process pretty
did you
much
have to
easy.
go to the embassy or you applied through the website?
Okay, so I did mine through an agent. So what
Okay.
I know is that when you land there, first they'll give you this okay to vote package. Where when you land in the country, then
Mhm.
you have to talk to, which is I find that very annoying. Like you are doing a visa interview when you've already landed in the country, and if something goes wrong,
They'll deport you. It's
like
so annoying because you already stepped foot in the country
yeah,
and now you're about to be deported again. That stuff is scary.
yes. So it's crazy. Like so you just find out that people will come uninformed, and then the next thing you know, they tell the person step aside. Once you step aside, the next thing the person is seeing is return flight, return flight. No wasting of time. So
So how do you avoid something like that from happening? Like how do you prevent it from happening?
you really have to be careful with the agents you go with. Preferably go with agents that have track record of getting people here. There are
Mhm.
some agents that they just want the money, they won't go through the due process. And sometimes the country will make certain regulation changes that if the agent is not following what's going on, by the time you come here,
Yeah.
it will affect you. Take, for instance, the people who had the issue, was it the minimum balance that had to be in your account? Previously, maybe 3 years
Proof of
ago,
funds.
huh? Yeah, proof of
The
fund.
proof of funds, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe 3 years ago they weren't so heavy on the proof of fund, but due to
Hmm.
some changes, I think that there's now some policy in place that you have to show a higher proof of fund. So if you go with an agent that's not informed, you will just end up coming down here and they'll ask for your proof of fund. I'll be like, what do you mean? And
Oh
they'll be
my
like,
God.
the next flight is is on its way.
Welcome to Moritala Mohammed Airport in
Exactly.
Nigeria.
So you really have to be careful with the agents and also understand that here is not for
Gotcha.
everyone. That's the truth. This country is not for everyone. So
If you hadn't gone through the education route, what other route would you have gone through?
there's work, there's the work visa process.
As if your company is in Cyprus, right?
Yeah. And you get hired, they get
Mm-hmm.
permit for you, and then do all of that.
Gotcha. Do you miss Nigeria?
For you, I do very much.
Okay. So there was this thing that happened during the election where I called a friend who was not in Nigeria. I don't want to disclose his country. And he was telling me that if there was a good leadership in Nigeria, that he would have come back. Or a particular person had won the election, that he would have come back to Nigeria. I am not going to ask you the same, but I want to know what would make you come back to Nigeria? What would make you
It's
be
not like
like, you know what? I want to visit
I'm running away
Nigeria and
from
stay.
Nigeria
Yeah, I know. I know.
and stay. That's
Mhm.
that's a decision. It's not like I'm running away from Nigeria. But so now one of the main thing right now, one of the main reason for me will be family. That will be like the cornerstone for any reason why I'm coming.
Your parents and your siblings.
Yeah. Spend some time and all of that. Then maybe maybe if there was an opportunity, or maybe a business opportunity,
Mhm.
a consulting opportunity in the tech space, that's the reason that I could come to Nigeria. Nigeria is not that terrible, to be frank. Other than the fact that,
Depends on who you ask.
yeah. So I meet people here. So one of the things I think I'm one of those people who I get angry when people try to blacklist or blackmail Nigeria as a country. Not really get angry, but I get defensive.
Mhm.
Like I have some people who come here, they tell that when we talk about Nigeria, they say, oh, say a lot of things. I'm like, it depends on what version of Nigeria you met. And the version of Nigeria you met is not the version that I met.
Mm.
So Nigeria for me is not that terrible, for real. It's not that terrible. We lack some basic infrastructure, which for the best of me, I still don't understand why Nigeria doesn't have constant power, doesn't have good roads, doesn't have security. Like these are fundamental things that smaller countries seem to have mastered. So we need to find out what we're doing wrong, but it's a good discussion. So we could that's a discussion for another day. But Nigeria is not a terrible place. I do come to Nigeria annually.
Okay. And is this something that you've done this year or you still eventually do it?
I eventually do this thing for sure.
We should hang when you come around again.
Sure. You
Let me,
probably want to
let me
be
show
if
you
you want
my
to go to Ghana. We could go to Ghana
I want to
together.
what?
Probably if you want to go to Ghana,
Bro,
go to
if
Ghana.
a friend was telling me to come that we should go to Ivory Coast because it has this. Wait, hold on 1 second. Something is wrong with my network, so I'm going to switch to a different one real quick.
Okay.
My back. I think I'm back.
Wow, that was pretty much fast. I didn't
Maybe because
notice.
I'm on a Mac. But
No,
what did you say? I
I
think it's
didn't
still
notice.
lagging.
You sure? Is it from me or from you?
I think it's from me. I'm not very sure. It will most likely be from me.
Don't be too
Oh,
sure.
you were checking fast.com. What was your speed test?
Currently, right now, it's actually terrible. I'm getting, is it in the range of less than 10 Mbps?
Okay, it's dropped then. It's dropped then. Mine is around. Let's just continue. Let me not tell you.
Is it
But
that bad? Is it that bad? Like, you have
we're
to.
almost done anyway, so we're almost done. So it's I'm actually connected to the internet for the house. It's unlimited. Yeah. I don't want to name their names because they are not paying me for marketing their brand. But I think that the other rooms are using it currently because I can hear the TV. Someone is watching Amazon Prime or something. So I think it's why it dropped. But yeah, as I was saying, a friend of mine in Ghana said I should come later this year. We should drive to Ivory Coast. He has
I
a
look
friend.
forward towards that. What's the tendency to
Yeah,
be
so
kidnapped?
to be kidnapped. It would be beautiful if you are kidnapped in
No,
a
it's not
place like
beautiful.
Ghana because it's not that
No,
horrible. No, it's not that horrible. Not no. I mean, if it's some super weird African country with an African name, now I'll be scared. But Ghana, I haven't heard stories like that, of kidnappings and stuff in Ghana. But anyway, he said
but you
later
want to
this
go on
year
a
we
road
should.
trip.
Yeah, we should go on a road trip from Ghana to Ivory Coast. We haven't picked a date yet. Um, I keep telling him that it's actually going to be later this year, like after mid-year, because there's this thing I do where immediately it's June, I evaluate my past couple of months and how I want the rest of the year to be for me financially, right?
Mhm.
So all of that stuff is very, very important to me. So by June, we should do it by June or July. I'm not sure yet. Most likely August even, because August is like summer, you know, summer holiday, and everybody's just more relaxed than they are, compared to previous months. So, so yeah. But if you want to come, Sha, I can talk to him about it because I was also talking about how a friend wants to come along as well, and that his friend also has a car, so we'll most likely be doing like a two vehicle trip or something.
That's
Um,
good. I would certainly want to come. Next June, July works for me. Perfect.
okay, no,
I
holla,
think
I'll let you
if
know.
that's something you can stick, I can also rearrange my itinerary so that I know that I'm traveling mid-year.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Before we stop the whole recording, I want to ask you, when you visit Nigeria, what food do you always want to try?
So
Or
the
what
thing
food
is
do you
this.
go after when you come around?
The thing is this. When I come around, I want to rush towards because I've not been eating spicy food. I want to run towards that spicy food. But what I find out is that it becomes a process. Like it burns my throat for the first few soups that I'll be eating. It burns my throat. But other than that, other than the process of having to learn how to eat pepper again, I go for
Um,
veg-
you're
vegetable soup.
relearning pepper eating.
Yeah, yeah. I just telling my system I'm back. Once like about 3 or 4 plates, I'm okay with the spice level and again. But I go towards the vegetable soup, the Calabar version of it. I don't know if it's a Dikai but I know there is Calabar version that has the Igbo Calabar version of it.
I think it's the afang. I don't think it's a dikaika. I think it's afang.
Yeah, the one with water
Or it could be a
leaf.
dikaikong. I'm not sure.
And
It could be a dikaikong.
But anyway, just that version with semo, awesome. Then ewedu and
Mm.
amala. Let me tell you a story. I went all the way from Lagos to
Yeah.
Abeokuta to eat amala.
What year was that? Last year?
Either last year or the year before that. All the way to Abeokuta. So have you been towards this you know the Olumorok section?
I've been there twice.
Yeah, there is this popular restaurant where I've forgotten the name of the restaurant, but it seems very popular there. There's this popular restaurant where they make amala and all those kind of assorted stuff. I will leave the
I don't
restaurant,
know it.
forget the food, go to that amala spot, take bike to that spot, eat amala afternoon and night. The amala is on point. Like I don't know where Sabi girl. I don't know where Sabi girl. I've not taken Kate to amala and they were doing and Gbegiri. So I don't know
Yeah.
where Sabi girl Sam, but I think you just
So
sang
fun
about.
fact. Yeah. So sorry to cut in, but I'm hearing that there is no such thing as a Malaketu.
Hmm,
So I don't know if she just made that up. My friend who lives in K2 said there is no such thing as a Malaketu.
there's no. Is there a
We need
popular
to
Kate
investigate that
amala store?
stuff.
There's no
Maybe somewhere
popular
else in
amala.
Lagos. Maybe somewhere else in Lagos, but not in K2.
Okay, because she would have sung about that amala in
You look
Abeokuta.
perplexed. Yeah, so I want to know now what's the name of the Amala in Abeokuta?
I don't know the name. I just thought there's this amala ewedu big amala ewedu the stew.
Inside the
Not the soup.
Olumorok
No. Outside, like towards that hotel section, those places with a lot of hotels and all of them. So
hotels.
I
Yeah,
can get you the
yeah.
name later. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a very popular restaurant. Like, it's a very popular restaurant.
Interesting.
It has a pinkish or reddish outlay. You have to stand in a queue and then they answer you. Best amala I've ever taken and still the best. Now that place to eat very good amala.
You don't they give me an idea.
Another place to eat
I
amala
just
is
wake up
Ilorin.
one of these weekends and go.
Just take the train.
Yeah, in the mornings.
Yeah, take the train. It's superb. It's superb. You won't regret. I assume you like amala and ewedu and all those food.
Oh, come on. I'm a junkie. I love those.
Yeah. So you won't regret it. It's worth it. Worth it.
Nice. Okay. All right. So I think we're like 50 minutes in so far. So I'm going to stop the recording here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but before I do it, do you have any last words or last minute, stuff to talk about? Um, warnings, advice, tips, especially for tech bros who would like to visit Cyprus. When people want to visit these countries, what they look out for are the routes. How can I get there? What routes will be easy to visit
If you want to visit Cyprus,
Cyprus?
route is very easy. School is one of the easiest way, and
Would you
with two
would you recommend someone should visit the north or the east? I mean the what's the other one? North or south?
depending on your pockets. If you're working remotely,
Okay.
if you're working
Mm-hmm.
remotely and you're not dependent on, you don't want to depend on the economy, you just want a place and that just a change of environment, I would suggest the north. If you're looking for somewhere with economic incentive,
Mm-hmm.
the south is way better than the north when it comes to that. Way
Gotcha.
better.
Nice.
But the
All
opportunities are
right.
for tech bros, the opportunity, the better you are, the better the opportunity. And one thing you should know that although they tell you that they speak English, English is a luxury language here.
So if you speak English, it's like a big deal over there.
You know, I mean, you'll hear a lot that they speak English, but English is more like a luxury language. Like
Ah, okay, okay.
it's 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 not the most common, and most people who speak English are probably the well educated or the well traveled.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but the school will tell you that, oh, English is widely spoken. I lie.
Well, do you think that you would be considered for a job more in Cyprus by a company in Cyprus if you have good English, or it's not a bonus or anything?
It's not a bonus. If you speak English and
Because
speak
I
their
mean they
local
have their
language,
own languages.
if you speak English and speak their own local language, big bonus.
Gotcha.
If you, yeah, if you, but if not, if you're just speaking English, mm,
On your own.
on your own or your capital or your,
All right. Thank you so much for doing this. I'm going to
thank
stop the
you,
recording here now
awesome.
so that we can bant a bit.